Check, please.
Welcome to Everything Money. In this video, we will walk you through the process of looking at a company's financials and their 10K. It's sort of a boring, tedious process, but we will show you what two guys who own and operate over $100 million in real estate, businesses, and stocks, how they approach looking at a document given by these financial institutions and how you can use this advantage to be a better investor. Typically, we would use our 8-pillar analysis as a screener to see if a stock is in the wheelhouse for us to invest. And if it is, our due diligence would include reading a 10K, and we'll show you how to do that right now. Paul, can you walk us through these documents?
Thank you, Seth. Guys, before we go further, follow us on Instagram, Everything Money Investing, and also follow our personal accounts. I have pictures of my dogs. Mo puts videos of the dog that he hates. It's his girlfriend's dog, unfortunately. And Seth, what do you post on Instagram?
I post pictures of my photography, but I am filling up. We are working really hard with our Everything Money Investing Instagram. People are loving Paul. It's growing. So,
all right. So a very common question we get is, what do I look for in a 10K? Guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is one of the most boring things you will do in your lifetime. Reading a 10K is not fun. However, if you want to really get in the nitty-gritty of a business, the 10K is the way to go. Now, there's a cuter version of the 10K called the annual report. It's glossy, it has cute pictures, it has pictures of puppies, and everybody's talking and laughing, and they have letters from the CEO, all these cute things that happen. Remember, guys, it's a marketing tool. So
I didn't actually know that. I was reading the book Good Stocks Cheap by Kenneth Marshall, and he was talking about that. You know, pie charts, really fluffy, but the 10K really gets you down to the nitty gritty and like really detailed. Keep going, Paul.
So a criticism we get on the channel is that we look at the numbers first before doing our quote unquote research. So first off, every YouTuber out there who says they do the research first, they don't even know what a 10K is. I'm not really, they probably do, but they don't look at the 10K. Their idea of research is, let me Google, is this a good company to buy? Then they see our video and then they probably watch it. Guys, the 10K is after our 8 pillars. We have over 1,050 videos. If you go watch 875 of them, we talk about our 8-pillar process, right? The 8-pillar process is our starting point. This is where we weed out all the junk out there. We look at the companies of the story and say, what do these numbers tell us a story? And then we look at the 10K in the annual report to fill that story in. Mo, how many 10Ks have you read in the last year?
Oh, maybe 10 to 15.
Right. And you've only read them when?
When I was really getting close to saying, okay, maybe I'm going to buy this stock.
Correct. I agree with that. Because if the numbers make sense, as I always bring up this example, this is a great phone. I could write a whole report, 180 pages about why this phone is great. If I told you this phone was $12 million, I could have just saved myself time saying, well, I'm not paying $12 million for a phone. Yeah. It's done. I'm over it. But instead, everybody else, all these other YouTubers that you see out there, sitting there saying, fall in love with understand the, what do you mean understand? To me, the fundamentals matter the most. Find the companies the fundamentals matter, and then from there, use the 10K and the other research to weed out the garbage.
We'll walk you through this right now. We'll pull up Walgreens, which we are invested in. We love. We've done videos on it in our software, and we'll show you how to get to the 10K, which can be hard to find. Go ahead, Paul.
So we go to our software, everythingmoney.com. We click the 8 pillars tool. We type in Walgreens, WBA, Walgreens Boots. Right here, guys, right underneath our main part, annual reports. It takes you right to the SEC website. You click 10K, and you find just the first one right there, annual report for the year ending August 31st, 2021. Now, the 10Q is the quarterly report. The 10K is the annual. And guess what? Their year ends different than other companies. So don't get confused by that. Companies change. A lot of retail companies end their year in January because the season's over. But for Walgreens, they chose August 31st. So you click on it. Loading inline form. Look at this, guys. I'm going to scroll all the way down here. Look how long this thing is.
Wow.
A lot of charts. So the very opening part, it is going to show you the annual report table of contents. Listen, a lot of investors will tell you read the whole thing top to bottom. I personally do not do that. Why? I don't think it's needed. For me, my goal is to own 20 to 40 stocks that the numbers make sense, and I go through the 10K and I skim it. And I look for things that matter to me. What's the first things you look for, Mo?
First thing I look for, I go through the business. I make sure I understand that the business that I'm looking at is actually what I'm looking at. Like yesterday, I started to go through, I can't remember the 10K I was going through, but I wanted to go through it, and I was like, oh, damn, I didn't know that this is what was going on. Because first, usually when I run the screener to find a stock that I'm looking for, sometimes I don't know what the company completely does. I'm like, oh, these numbers make sense to me. Now let's keep going. Nautilus, it was that.
Oh.
I know they make gym equipment, but I really wanted to see what gym equipment do they make. I didn't know they made like Bowflex and stuff.
Oh, yeah, they're Bowflex.
So, yeah. So that's important. Go and understand what the business does. It's the very first part of it.
So if you look right here, business, Walgreens Boots Alliance, a Delaware corporation, is a global leader in retail pharmacy, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
They might at times describe who their ideal client is. They'll name that person. John Doe is our ideal client. They're 37 years old. They do blah, blah. That's what happens. I remember Signet. When we liked Signet last year, that's what we looked at. And they said, here's our client. Here's the person we're looking at. Next thing we do, which is extremely boring, and a lot of it can be very, very generic, risk factors.
Yep.
They're going to talk about the risk factors in the business. A lot of it is regular legal mumbo jumbo. If all of a sudden people stop needing medicine, then our company will go out of business. Okay, that's obvious. If all of a sudden people...
If we get competition, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But...
No, but usually it's the first like 1 to 5. Those are the real ones. And then it's all just the usual stuff.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
Either way, they'll put some tidbits in there where you go, wait a second.
I didn't think about that.
Our debt is coming due, and we're a little concerned about, didn't realize that. Because, guys, you're probably not doing this sort of... Like, Seth, you always say that you're the average person asking average questions. Have you ever looked at a 10K?
I have pulled them up.
When?
I have put, like you said, before we invest a bit, but not often.
Recently.
No, not
only because
often.
I told you to do it,
just
right?
on the show. Yeah.
Before then, you weren't doing it.
No.
You just said, I like Tesla, therefore I'm going to own Tesla stock. I like Amazon.
Absolutely. Like I was I was buying tickers hoping they would go up, and yeah. So no process really.
Great thing happened to me. Southwest Airlines. Go back and look at Southwest Airlines video. I found an amazing nugget in Southwest. Here's how I found it, guys. One of the main parts of the business of the 10K is to look at their financials. When you see the financials, they go in a nitty-gritty detail in the financials. Where are the financials? Here, right here. Financial statements and supplementary data.
Yep.
I found in the 10K of Southwest Airlines last year, they broke out how much lower their revenue and profit were because of the 737 MAX issue with Boeing. And I was like, holy cow. At that time, the company made $2.1 billion after an $840 million error because of the 730, or cost to them because of the 730. I was like, this is a $3 billion company that people aren't giving value to $3 billion. I immediately knew right then and there it was an average undervalued company at the time. It was selling for $23 to $25 a share, which is much higher now. But that's the nugget you can find in these 10Ks. You can find warnings and these things going, holy cow, they lost that 737 MAX cost them $840 million, and they still made $2.1 billion, which was still a record. Hot diggity damn.
Guys, Seth here jumping in real quick. We'll get right back to the video, but I want to let you know you can join our software. You can get access to this financial data and the new Everything Money chat right in your phone. Paul will tell you how to get it right now.
So guys, we created the software because our users wanted to be able to analyze their own stocks without having to wait for us. So we put hundreds of thousands of dollars, made the software. You get 30 years of financial data. You get access to Seth, Mo, and I, 8-pillar analysis, the stock analyzer tool, the retirement calculator, and you get everything on this main page that is coming soon. This is all included. And if you look right here, these are all the things you get. You get everything on a mobile phone. Everything we're talking about here is ready, available on your mobile app. One app for everything. But most importantly, guys, you get our Discord, our community of, now it's off of Discord. It's right in our app. You get a community of over 6,000 people you can talk to every single day about your investment ideas. If you're like them, you felt alone having these ideas about investing that weren't reciprocated by others, but now you found the community here. And this is all available for only $1 per day. Less than a cup of coffee. If this can make you 1 or 2% or save you 1 or 2% of losses every year, it will lead to hundreds of thousands, if not millions. $1 per day, 2 ways to sign up. Everythingmoney.com or Patreon. The benefit of everythingmoney.com is we're not large enough yet to charge sales tax, so you won't be charged sales tax quite yet. And look at this, guys. You get all of this. Our competitors are a lot more money and don't provide as much. $1 per day. Go sign up now.
The financials on the 10K, more so than just on our software, is our software is just going to show you the numbers. This is going to give you explanations for those numbers, and those are important things to understand.
Right.
Like when we find an anomaly in there, you always say, go look in the 10K and see what this write-down was. See what happened here. Why does this not add up? This is where you find where that anomaly happens.
If you watch our past videos, we talk about comparable store sales with retail chains like Walgreens and Walmart, some of the sporting goods stores. So, Paul, I know you're headed that way with comparables. What would you like seeing in companies that are growing?
So for retail, comparable store sales are very important. Why? Let's say you have a company let's say you have a retail location with 100 locations, a retail company with 100 locations. If every location is dropping in sales by 5% a year, that's bad. But if they open 10 more stores, increase their number of stores by 10%, they can make the company look like it's growing, even though all of its individual stores are doing worse.
This was news to me.
Yes. So one of the most important things to do in a retail business is look at comparable store sales. So I look at Walgreens, 2019, 2020, 2021, 6.2%, 3%, 4%. Comparable stores tend to be company stores that have opened for 12 to 18 months and have certain attributes to them. And they'll explain what those attributes are in the 10K. You can also look at number of locations. They'll tell you how many they're opening, closing, renovating, etc. They'll give you how much they spend on average per renovated store. All these things are all in the 10K. And I really encourage you, after you've found a company that fits your financial criteria, that interests you, you should at least skim the 10K and also do what's called scuttlebutt. Eventually, that's what Philip Fisher calls it. Go on there, go to websites like Seeking Alpha, go to our software. We have our software, our 8-pillar analysis software right here that you can go to, get all the 8 pillars on the stock, do all the math for you, and then join the community. When you get the software, you're involved in the community. The community has 6,000 other people who pay for the software that you can talk to about your ideas. Who here is interested? There'll be a pharmacy or retail chat in our software. Who here is interested in Walgreens? Oh, I am. I looked at this. And you can have a conversation about Walgreens. Somebody will say, you know what? I read this in the 10K. Somebody else might say, I didn't read the 10K. That's the point of it.
Having this software, Bo, really gives me as a new investor a great advantage to have all this data at the palm of my hand. I can hit 8 pillars very quickly. So Paul, are there any blaring things that you can see on a 10K or Mo that would really dissuade you from maybe investing in a stock after you fall in love with maybe its 8 pillar?
That is a great question. I have not found any yet. There was nothing that I read in a 10K yet that made me say, "Oh boy, this is not something that I want."
But you haven't read a lot of 10Ks.
I haven't read a lot of 10Ks, and also I read a lot of 10Ks based on companies that are not like Tesla and Plug Power and this and that. So that's the difference. I'm sure that if you start reading some of those that are companies that are not making money yet, you're going to find some glaring info in there. Now, one thing that I want to add, it's not important to read a 10K on the companies that we're talking about, like these Walgreens and Intel and whatnot. When you get into smaller companies that are maybe $100 million, something like that, it might be more important to dig in there.
More important.
Yeah, you got to dig in a little bit more because they're smaller. I mean, then you can actually see what the management does. You're really almost talking to CEOs at that point.
Yeah, and there's a great book called The Investment Checklist, which I'm reading. I'm almost done with it. It does a great job of questions to ask management, and that's for smaller companies, and you're probably not going to be doing that. We don't really do it. Our good friend Gary does it, but we don't want to talk to management. I don't care. My goal personally is I like to buy bigger companies that I don't have to worry about. By the way, I have said no to retail companies because of that same store sale number, where I go, wait a second, they're opening too many stores still, retail's getting hurt, and their same store sale numbers should be much better than this. I'm passing on it. So I have seen data that makes me go, I'm out. And that should be the case. But just like Mo, I'm more exclusive when I read a 10K. I'm really reading a 10K because I'm like, I really like this company, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the way I look at 10Ks. It's like I said, the annual report's great, but it's cute. It's the marketing version of it. The letter from the CEO, guys, most CEOs, unfortunately, are salespeople. And essentially, they're there to paint a rosy picture. It can be a little misleading at times, but go look at you have to kind of read in between the lines what they're saying to see, are they just giving you jargon or are they giving you real nitty gritty details? The 10K is a great way to get the straight poop.
Not the diarrhea.
That's our take. Just one channel's advice on how to look at one. You can certainly go much deeper and read the whole dang thing, but that's our take. We'll come back to this video if you need a refresher in the future, and you can join Mo trading in the Bidnass Nation. Get the software. You can analyze. If this resonates, you're going to love the software, and we'd love to have you in the community discussing all this. So that's our take. Final thumbs up. Watch all of our videos, and we'll see you next time.